Hey everyone. I am so sorry for running late. How's everybody doing today? I forgot I had a prior obligation. I thought I'd be done in time. Unfortunately, I wasn't. So bring you all with me while I finish it up instead of keeping you waiting, and then we will go ahead and get with the topic. How's everyone doing? Can you guys hear me okay? Oh, I want to go back to sleep, Connie. I think that would be great. Hey, Jay Renee. Okay, you guys can hear me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I kept you all waiting. um, Lost track of time, the things. So today's live stream is going to be really sad, actually. And I just need a few minutes. You guys are taking a ride with me to Wawa. Any of you familiar with Wawa? My home away from home. But yeah, I came across the saddest little situation I've ever seen, and it's horrific. And I think we need to talk about it. I think people need to realize that our actions and behaviors online can absolutely destroy somebody to that extent, to that point. And laws are not caught up. Laws are not caught up. Wawa is like so Jay Renee has it. Wawa is like a convenience store. It has a little bit of everything. So it sells food. It used to be like a little deli market, but now it's just everything. It's gas, it's cigarettes, it's drinks, it's food, it's the whole shebang bang. I think people have pig, piggy wigglies I've heard of. And a crime analyst, Detective John, I should say. I have to send you an email. Gotta have Wawa. Gotta have a Wawa. Wait, that's another commercial and ends with yum. So yeah, if you guys don't mind a short decor, seems like some of you do mind because the number dropped and that's okay. But we'll be right on topic very shortly. Yeah, Wawa's like sheets. Yep. Piggy Wiggly. Oh, that's a grocery store. Never mind then. Never mind. Over in China, if you're not like, it's like a quick check. Yes. Hey, Rana, I remember you. If you're not, like really, how Chinese people are like thin and whatever. Well, apparently they have like one level of the mall that is just for bigger people, which aren't really bigger people. It's like your average American. And all the stores are named like pig something and pig this, like really like taking the piss out of people. And that's like for an American medium, you know. I was just watching a whole thing on it. I thought it was very unusual. Hey, Cold as Ice. Good to see you. Hey, Charlie Ann. Good to see you. Blissful. Pointer Lover. Long time no see. LMP. Gary. Christine. Have any of you heard of this situation that the topic is about today? It's actually a really sad one. Very sad. I think it is an East Coast thing. Wawa is an East Coast thing. And then I've been doing more. No? Wow, okay. Hey, London. I've been and Divinely Guided. Hello, Colin. Welcome. Jude. Hey, Jude. Maggie May. I've been doing a lot more deep digging into the Karen Reed case, and we are going to go, further into that. I believe there is going to be a panel tonight. If I end up going on a panel tonight about Karen Reed, and I will make sure to let you all know. May have heard it briefly mentioned. See, it should be mentioned everywhere. Everywhere, Jay Renee, should be mentioned. You know why? Because social media is, mom, social media is all the younger generation knows. Our kids know. It's all they know, right? If you think about it, some kids have never lived without social media. I mean, these kids aren't even social anymore because they're on social media all the time. And with social media, you don't have that face-to-face interaction. And people have become very comfortable saying things online that they would never dare say in person. And it's dangerous. It's careless. And the fact that a young man's life was taken over just that should be blasted on headlines, but it won't be. You know why? Because they're not going to change up their platforms anyway. TikTok's going to do nothing to change it. YouTube does nothing to change it. The laws aren't caught up with it. There is nothing that is preventing what, and then honestly, they need to. Laws need to be updated. I know some places say their laws are updated for, cyber and blah, 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 but they're not. They're not. It's almost impossible to get anybody to listen to you when it comes to social media complaints, social media bullying, social media harassment, stalkers. Everybody's just waving a chat right now to my stalker because it turns out she's my biggest fan, paying and all. So everybody say hi to that one. There is nothing to stop these people from their obsession, their constant pushing, and they have no bounds. They have none. They will literally push somebody into unaliving. And even then you will see them come out and play the victims of it. And that is the situation we have here today. And I wish I was a little more organized so that we could jump right into it. But unfortunately, it's relentless, Solo. And if this is amongst adults, what do you think is like for the kids? It's heartbreaking. It's an overall heartbreaking situation. Hey, East Coast. Now we're going to bring you all into Wawa now. Lulu. Get worse as they get older, too. I always thought it was something the kids outgrew. Yeah? Be surprised, right? The same parents on, whatever. I won't get into all of that. Well, some are definitely not adults. All right. Turn on the camera. It's so stupid you have to say unalive, but this sort of harassment is allowed. Yep. YouTube blocks us from saying start. Well, that's because they don't want the accountability for it. So this is a Wawa. You got your ATMs, your lottery, your snacks, and then it has all your drinks and things. I got my daughter a milkshake at Wawa yesterday. I love Wawa. Practically live here, sadly. Good morning, Wandering Sub. Hey, Moa, thank you so much. And then you'll see they sell everything. They have bread. They sell their own hot dogs. They sell milkshakes. One Red Rose, you'd be surprised. Apparently when they're such business women, right? Ross, hello. They sell coffee, fresh baked donuts. Wawa's just a little bit of everything. They even have their own sugar. This, I love it. There's very little face-to-face dialogue anymore. This has desensitized our younger generation. They can't handle adversity because they can't communicate. Coping is gone. That is everything. Have any of you tried to have a conversation with a minor as of lately? They literally cannot communicate. And they're awkward. And you know why? Because of what John just wrote right there. Detective John just said it all. All right, what am I doing? As the mate, yeah, I'll get it. That's what I was thinking, the Wandering Sub. Do I want a coffee or do I not? But I do think I need. All right. Trying to get my teenager son to say anything is a chore. Right. They don't socialize anymore. You guys like your coffee? Look, caramel apple coffee. Strawberries and cream. Caramel apple. I don't know if I feel like being basic today. Baby daddy number 4. Oh, you're back. You're back. Listen, I'm down with a good troll, baby daddy number 4. I am down with a good troll. But if you come in here and you say some off the wall stuff, like you said over in the other chat, it's going to be a problem. Gamer guy, get out of here. They even sell pizza now. All right, so let me turn this off, make my purchases, and get out of here so we can get to the topic at hand. Is it every 40 seconds, Detective John? The caramel apple, yeah. I don't know if I'd like that. I hate to waste money on that. If did you ever experience that in your career, Detective John? I would love to know. Horrifying. Do you know that since the rise of social media, the amount of teenagers that are taking, the amount of kids, not just teenagers, the amount of people under the age of 18 that are ending their lives has significantly increased? And a matter of fact, people that worked at Apple actually exposed them for it. Hello. It's good to see you. Good. How are you?
That's fun.
Isn't it? Yes, it's the Chucky.
Oh,
Yeah, it's from the second Chucky movie.
happy day to you, sweetie.
You as well.
Yeah. Is it? You know what?
Hey, Kelsey, welcome. Thank you so much. 100. Yes.
Regulars?
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, parents need all that.
Yeah. Apparently, it happened on TikTok, and it was other young adults that did it. And when they couldn't get proof that he was, they spread the rumor he was, and he did it live.
Oh my God! Stop.
Yep. And it was actually an adult girl posing as a minor, and he still showed no interest.
Pray about it. That's
It breaks my heart.
That is really.
I feel like it's where we're at as a society, though.
I put my boys no social media, and they don't.
That don't work.
No, it doesn't stop them. They create secret accounts, and I mean, my daughter's so slick. She told me about her secret TikTok account. Apparently, they all have these like backups.
I was able to raise them full time. They are through 100%.
Wow, really? Wow.
Can
Good on you.
buy for him?
Oh, yeah. No, I don't. Thank you.
I'll pray about that. That is.
Grab it from the car for you. I love apples and a good caramel. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, it's just getting worse and worse. And I think everybody is recognizing that and seeing that. But what can we do to stop it, right? How many, I was just in a chat earlier, and I literally, they thought I was trolling and I wasn't. And I literally mentioned the situation to them. And do you know what the person turned around and said to me? I mean, didn't say to me, but said right after I brought up the situation. I swear to you, they said that this other person they don't like is an Edo, right? The same thing. And it's like, what? You don't have to. Okay.
You sure?
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great day. So right after hearing and seeing that somebody took their own life to that false allegation, this person then, because it's a man they don't like, screams, that the person they don't like is one themselves. And it's like, people don't care. It is such, you know what? I wish it would be recognized as a hate crime, especially when it's done against men as a, malicious thing. Because it's easy. What is an easy way to an assault and get a man angry? Fake allegations, rather it is the pedo allegations or is saying they RAPE. It is easy for them to do that. It is an easy go-to to get to a man. And a lot of times, you don't even have to prove it. Because you can't question, you can't victim shame. So it's up to the man to prove, and you can't prove a negative. It's a horrible, horrible situation. Hey, Roddy. Let me grab my coffee and we'll get out of here. I did not get the caramel apple, but I tell you what, yeah, I will get that next time. And I'll tell you how it was. It should be a hate crime. It should absolutely be recognized as a hate crime. This is mine. It sure is. Thank you. Have a good day. It's usually too late. Damage is done. Facts. That is absolutely. Because listen, we always hear about the allegations, right? We hear the allegations. Do you ever, if so, it's very rarely, do you ever hear the allegations cleared up? I mean, those of us who are within our little community, we know that there's been heavily allegations made to somebody we know based off of just pure hate. No, actual facts or anything. Just an easy insult and low blow. Hey, Mrs. Colombo. All right, now we can actually head back and raise two sons to be gentlemen. Well, that can go into the whole extreme feminism and the manosphere that's taken place. And, our kids are seeing all of that. Our kids are seeing across their TikTok and their social medias, they're seeing this whole, movement against men and women. The women telling women, we don't need men. The men telling men, we don't need women. And the overall traditional homes are gone. They're gone. There is nothing traditional about America. There's not the traditional families, the traditional man works, the woman stays. It's all gone. Everything is ruined. And social media is making everything worse. I hate it. Honestly, I hate it. Come on, cool gamer. I see you go in other chats and you act normal. Can you act normal in this one? I mean, this is a serious topic. I couldn't imagine spending my day going around and trolling people in the most pathetic of ways. Especially when I see that the topic's a serious topic. I mean, what type of person do you have to be? You know what I mean? It's a serious topic. We are almost there, so we can get really started. Again, I apologize. Yeah. Bless him is right. What is it? The stupid email button? How well do they work, John? If you prefer Detective John, I'm sorry. How well do they work? Because we have anti-bullying laws here in Pennsylvania as well. And every year the school does this big anti-bullying walk and da-da-da. But when bullying actually takes place in their schools, there is a brush under the rug. I mean, everybody remembers that young girl that ended up taking her own life after she got beat up at the school and the video went viral. The video of her assault went viral. Right, Kelsey. Me too. Movement turned into a double-edged sword so quick, it's sad and disturbing. I advocate turnabout. If you knowingly accuse a person of a crime falsely, then you face consequences of the crime you accused another person falsely of. I like that. I like that. Unfortunately, there's rarely any consequences, because you know what it comes down to. Well, you got to sue them, defamation. Well, who the hell can afford a defamation lawsuit? It's nearly impossible. The schools do very little, especially since they implemented their No Child Left Behind program. Articulate it well in cases should be built and start with injunctions and then move forward. It should be. Absolutely should be. How can anyone stand there and record violence? Well, these kids, not only do they record the violence they're seeing, they record everything. You know, when my daughter was assaulted twice, the people that were assaulting her actually had camera people, like people just to record. So they even record their crimes because this generation is so goofy. They're goofballs. Just like the lady during the Philadelphia rioting. Everybody was looting all the stores and everything, and she's like a well-known TikToker, Meatball, and she's recording her participation in the crimes with the police watching her, cheering on the crimes, participating in the crimes, and she's recording all of it. It's all they know. Nowadays, people pull out their phones not to call for help, but to record. It's insane. You can see everything on social media now. Dang old trash men, they left the trash cans in my spot. Bark is a good monitoring option for anyone with kids. It alerts the parents to words for bullying, sexual and unalive. Really? Let's highlight that, Tony. Wow. Okay. How about this? I just seen come across my For You. A man from New Jersey lured a young girl from Delaware through the Roblox. Man, Roblox. My son is constantly, can I buy Robux? Can I buy Robux? So this grown man, this adult man, I believe he said he was 32, was able to lure a 12-year-old girl into meeting him. Her parents called in that she was missing at like 6:30 in the morning. And luckily the police found her shortly after, and she happened to be with this guy, an adult, who met her on Roblox and lured her into meeting. How scary is that? How many of your kids play Roblox or play video games at all? It's terrifying. All right, I'm going to switch devices, guys. is about today. I've seen so much from being a substitute teacher is unbelievable. I can only imagine. Hey, Booberry. Life 360 is good for tracking it. We'll even tell you how fast they are traveling. Oh, man. It's a shame. It's just a shame. It's a shame we have to use social media to track. Right. Who was there community, and very recently he had a situation. I'm robot. Oh, good Lord. Just my luck, friends. All right. All right. All right, guys. I'm going to switch to another device because this is just ridiculous. All right. Okay. We are definitely working now, and I do apologize again. Um, we should have no spotty situation or anything going on now. All right. So as I was saying, Inquisitor 3. Inquisitor was a very popular TikToker amongst the Call of Duty community. And as a few days ago, so he's a cosplay creator. He dressed, but as a few days ago, he ended up taking his own life due to false allegations. So some other competitors. That's exactly right. The blacklist. You got it. It's exactly what happened. And I'm going to show you all today. So some of his competitors and, other creators get very competitive with others. We have one that's watching right now who's been on my ass for how many months now? Every day. But anyway, they don't know when to stop, right? Doesn't matter if you ignore them, if you don't, they don't know when to stop. So because this creator was not responding back to these others and just going about their business, they decided to send in his underage girlfriend to pretend she was not a minor, to get him to flirt with her, sorry. And they were hoping that he would take the bait so they can turn around and accuse this man of being a pedo. He did not take the bait. He did not respond at all. Matter of fact, he straight up said, I'm not interested, even though she said, I'm not a minor. She said, I'm not interested. So they took one time where she had put together some editing videos and he responded with, I'm going to marry you. And they spread that around, claiming there was more and that he was, in fact, a pedo. This young adult, kind of a kid, went live after a few days of the allegations. It was pitch black. You couldn't see anything. The chat was turned off. And he took his own life. You hear his father screaming. You hear the EMT break through the window. And you hear all of it. Now, you won't hear all of it today because I won't play all of that out of respect for him and his loved ones and those that, truly cared about him. But I am going to show you how it got there. He seemed to really want to spread love. It's heartbreaking. Many are held civilly liable. Criminal courts don't prosecute. You're going to see that take place. So let me pull these up. I'm going to play this first one. And I actually just commented on somebody else's video because I don't like the way they did what they did. They actually interviewed the kid that kind of orchestrated all of this. So first I'm going to play you guys this little intro to what is going on.
Cosplayer who went by the name of Inquisitor 3 tragically took his own life recently on TikTok Live following a slew of false accusations against him. His home was successfully entered and CPR was performed, but tragically his father has confirmed his passing. He was only 23 years old. His accusers are a 20-year-old man who we only know as Tito, this adult woman who we only know as Keegan's mask, and Tito's 17-year-old minor girlfriend who we only know as AJ. The plot.
So AJ was the one that went in undercover. Very important to cover because currently in the present time, right now, don't worry about about 4 that are currently falsely accusing other creators. You're right. Welcome, Infamous. Happy birthday, Roddy. And I was wondering if that would be the case here. So you're going to hear from the kid himself. Well, he's not. So they got it wrong. The one of the creators behind all of this, they said he was 20. He is not. He is 18. And apparently, as you can imagine, his parents have been getting a lot of grief over this. So, what the F are we going to do? It's not a life or death crisis. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to keep flirting with him and to see where it goes. If he starts to get sexual, then I will expose him. We just need better and blank proof. She responds, isn't that a lot of proof? He responds, baby, we need to really get him canceled. That's all it was for them. Get him canceled.
Plot to forge false allegations against Inquisitor 3 began in mid to late September when Tito and his minor girlfriend AJ began exchanging texts like these. AJ asks, what the f are we gonna do? Tito responds, it's not, keep flirting, exposed. Their attempts didn't work, and as you can see here, when AJ attempts to say things like, I love you, date me, Inquisitor 3 plainly rejects her, saying, you should ask in general if you can DM me.
Because she initially slid into his DMs right away and was flirting. And he even says, you should ask in general if you can DM me. But you will clearly see he's not interested. Right here, you see her say, I'm not a minor.
She says, oh, sorry, can we get to know each other? Nope. Why? She says, I'm not a minor, a lie, but he says, I'm not interested, I'm sorry. AJ even acknowledges that Inquisitor had minor DNI, which means do not inbox, in his bio, and she chose to still lie. This is her messaging Keegan, talking about how they need to get more evidence. So at the behest of these two adults, Tito and Keegan's mask, AJ then offers to start doing some editing work for Inquisitor 3, which he accepts, believing she is an adult. Once AJ started doing edits for Inquisitor 3, she, Tito, and Keegan's mask began saving any and every message that read as even remotely flirty between the two of them in their campaign against him. But Inquisitor caught on to this and even started to call her out. He said, "I'm not a fan of the way you acted." Huh? If you could please stop texting me, you'd be very kind. Damn, what did I do? I just want you to see this. You know me, you know who I am. I never exposed you. I just want to talk with you again. As he becomes more and more wise to the accusations they're starting to make about him.
Look, she writes, the one that's in his DMs trying to trick him, writes, "You do know that he is a pedo, right? I got a lot of proof. I got a lot of proof." I never said that. Oh shit, Deanna is on my account. I forgot to change my password. Come on.
She starts to act even more stupid. He provides screenshots, however, of her saying, "You do know he's a, right? I got a lot of proof." He says, "So who's this?" That's when she starts to say, "I didn't do that. Oh, no way. My friend Diana's on my account." He says, "Bro, get a life." And in early October, after Inquisitor 3 decided to finally stop talking to AJ for good after hearing she was trouble, Keegan's mask led the charge and they launched their attack against him. It wasn't much, but Keegan's mask began sharing these messages out of context in a desperate attempt to paint Inquisitor as a predator. The thing she left out, however, is that these were just enthusiastic responses to him finding that she had created so many edits for him in such a brief amount of time. And also fully believing she's an adult. But because she's a pretty popular girl, Keegan's mask's accusations spread like wildfire. And after multiple days of online and offline attacks, having the worst and heftiest accusations lodged against him, and believing that his life was over.
This reminds me of during the summer, there was a young kid that was online flirting when he found out that the person he thought he was speaking to was not who he was speaking to. He was actually speaking to someone from Egypt. And they said and used the images that he shared with them, believing he was speaking to a female, and said, "If you don't give us X amount of money, we're going to send this to all your family members." And from the minute that started to the next morning, another young adult, very young, took their own life. They were so mortified at the idea of their relatives and family and friends finding out or seeing the image of their privates that they took their own life. The rate this is happening is unbelievable. Which is why you should trust no one. Welcome, trust no one. That's why you should trust no one. Social media has opened up an evil doorway. From OnlyFans to sexting to these dating apps, and it's just unbelievable. Really, only farms. Hearing about a bloke here in the UK took his own life after a pedo hunter group went after him. Put him all over the internet, accusing him it wasn't him. They had the wrong bloke, and that's the problem. So when some weirdo out there decides to tag me on a pedo group saying that I am a pedo sympathizer, that is a problem. And the fact that there are people who dislike you enough that they will co-sign that type of accusation in real life going endangering situation. It's horrific. Absolutely horrific. Sure is, Amy. Sure is.
Inquisitor 3 left us. Keegan and Tito have both issued statements, not apologies or condolences, mind you, but excuses that all they...
What you see on the screen right here from Keegan's mask, all I did was call Inquisitor out for acting like a pred. Look at my TikToks. Nowhere did I state anything other than the fact it was weird he was speaking to and about minors. What AJ did was wrong, but that does not justify his actions. I posted for others to become aware and used him as an example. Nowhere did I state I wanted him to be injured. Well, what do you think? I mean, come on. What did you think was going to happen? How ridiculous.
he did was share their concerns. But as the rest of us remain devastated and broken in the wake of these unnecessary lies, we do have a lot of questions to ask. Should minors face repercussions for lying about their age online, especially?
What do you think? Not just online, but in general. Do you think minors should face repercussions for that? Not just online, in general. Absolutely the blacklist. Hey, Johnny.
Especially if it results in so much damage? Is there any justice these false accusers will face, or will they just remain anonymous trolls online forever? If you are a man feeling depressed, anxious, or struggling at all, please remember that there is a crisis hotline at 988 in the States, or just reach out to literally anyone.
Wow.
I can promise you that your brothers would always rather you cry on their shoulder than them be crying at your funeral.
That's another problem that we still have within society, is this idea that men cannot be sensitive, that men cannot cry, that men cannot do anything that can make them appear weak. Men are taught from a very young age to keep their feelings inside. Don't cry, you're a boy. Stop whimpering, be a man. It is taboo to have a man that is sensitive. It is taboo to have a man openly cry. So a lot of times they go through these emotions alone, afraid that they'll be labeled a PUSSY or otherwise for showing any bit of sensitivity or emotions or feelings. Wow, Raz, I'm so sorry to hear that. So I'm going to play you now, John, on that note. I'm going to play you guys this one. So for those of you who are unaware, Roma Army has grew a very big platform by saying she's an advocate for men. I see some things that make me questionable to her, but I overall like her and I like her message. Give me just one quick second. I like the men in the chat admitting that they show their sensitive sides and that they can cry. So she gets on my nerves a little bit too, and here's why. Her message is great, but she's also taken advantage of what some would call the manosphere. The fact that she started an OnlyFans after growing this audience is kind of contradicted to what she tells these men to stay away from. So hey, welcome. All right, so let me play you. So this is her interviewing the man who made the allegation and sent his underage girlfriend in to pretend to be a minor. You're going to see and hear him, okay? And you're going to hear his response to all of this happening.
Hey,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm all right. How long have
Can
you
you
been?
hear yourself?
Can I hear myself?
Yeah.
Like
That's
an,
so much.
like an echo? No.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing cosplay?
Since February 20th.
Now, though we're angry, right? As mothers, as fathers, as people, we are angry that this kid's allegations led to another young adult taking their own life. You have to remember, this is an 18-year-old child. And again, social media has made this false living for these kids where there are no repercussions. They can say what they want to say and they can get away with everything. This is the kid that made the allegations against the kid that took his own life. So he's not the one that took his own life. No, he started the rumors. He pushed his underage girlfriend to go in and pretend to be of age to try to catch this guy in some weird, because it wouldn't work that way, but whatever. Hey, independent thinker, welcome. The guy who took his life was 23. This guy is 18. This kid, he's a kid. He's 18. Which I know is hard to be sympathetic, but just remember that for what it's worth.
Oh, so not long.
Can you explain to me what military cosplay is?
I mean, you just dress up in military gear, and you don't even have to make videos. You could just dress. It's like Halloween costume, I guess.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Does that ever get misconstrued for like, I know stolen valor is when you receive
Right.
profits, but do you guys ever get in trouble even though it's just cosplay?
4 days ago it happens.
It depends whether or not you claim to be in the military or not.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense. So if you're just open and honest about, hey, this is what
I'm going to speed this up a little bit. If it's too fast, just let me know in the chat. I am used to speeding people up. I can't stand slow talking, maybe because I'm a fast, loud talker. But so what they do is they are part of Call of Duty. Call of Duty content creators, cosplay. They dress up and they basically dress up as characters as they play the video game. That's their little world. That's what they do over there.
I'm doing.
Exactly.
Okay.
I want you all to remember too when I believe his real name is Vincent, Inquisitor, when Vincent took his own life, he did it on a live stream. He did it on a live stream. Was that symbolic? Or is that because it's what he's known was a live stream? Like, some of these kids, they live, some of these people in general. I always say, I'm making a joke, but I'm also being somewhat serious. Some people log on and they never log off. They get addicted to streaming. They get addicted to the attention. They get addicted to all of it. And, a lot of these kids, they're doing the same because online they can be what and whoever they want to be, right? This kid, Inquisitor Vincent, he was very popular on TikTok, but he's wearing a mask. Was he not popular in school? You know what I mean? So these kids can live these fantasy, not just these kids, a lot of adults do it too. These fantasy lives through the internet. Don't ask me why. We know most of you are POSs.
That makes sense. Well, so naturally I want to, just be able to kind of talk to you first and just see what your, side of the story is. Obviously, this is a really intense situation. It must be very scary. I couldn't imagine being a part of it. And I think that everybody deserves the right to share their side of the story. So I just want to hear what your side of the story is. And then, we can go from there. And like I said, just make sure that we're both comfortable.
Yes, they're from America.
If we want to, platform that and share that publicly.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's your side of the story? How did it all start? How long have you been dating your girlfriend?
So I've been dating my girlfriend since March.
Yes. So this interview takes place after Vincent, Inquisitor, has taken his own life. This interview, they are speaking on what led to it. It is after the fact. You just heard her there say that this will not be placed live. He lived, I thought he lived though in the Midwest, Pacific Northwest. His family was Italian, but I don't think they were in Italy still. You know what's actually really sad about all of this? Because he streamed his unaliving, they actually took down his channel, Inquisitors. So any of his fans, loved ones, supporters, they now no longer have access to the memories of the happier times. How sad is that? This kid can still have his platform.
17th, I believe.
Okay.
And
Of this
I would
year?
say,
Of this year?
yes, this year.
Okay.
And about a week into dating, she sends me screenshots of the Inquisitor, telling her, I'm going to marry you, and honey, and those screenshots. And I didn't do anything about it. I didn't look at it as pedophilia. It's creepy, but it's not, bad.
Right.
So that disappeared quickly.
So he says about a week ago, welcome Built for the Bullshit. About a week ago, his girlfriend sent him the text messages that I want to marry you and honey. No, not that has been disclosed or anything. No. He has a girlfriend. He has a girlfriend. He was just a normal kid that was doing,
Didn't talk about it at
video
all.
game content.
And then September 20th, she texted me on WhatsApp saying, Bill, Inquisitor is live. And I was kind of confused who that was. And she told me it was the guy I sent you the screenshots about.
Right.
And I was like, okay, whatever.
Thank you so much, Kraken and Forever Trolling, for correcting me on that. Thank you. My 10-year-old grandson was here for the weekend. Had to take the electronics finally. Yes, because that's all they want to do. I know. Hey, I'm Zen. So what you're hearing now is this guy right here on your screen blaming the girlfriend. He's just unaware. He just didn't know, what was going on.
She sent you his live. Sorry, I just didn't. Can I get some clarification on that? What about his live stream?
He was just on a TikTok live doing something. I don't even know. I don't know what he was doing on live. All I know is that she told me he was live.
Okay.
And she remembers the screenshots she remembers the conversations they were having. And she told me she wanted to expose him.
Okay.
And there's a literal screen recording of me saying, it's going to be okay. Just let it go. And she said,
listen to how he's selling her out. There's a screenshot of me saying, it's okay. Just let it go. BS. BS. That's not what we saw. We saw you saying, keep going, push them, get something, have them flirt. We need more proof. We want him canceled.
That's something that made me feel really guilty. He said, but babe, he flirted with me. Do anything about it? So that's when I told her, okay, go ahead and flirt with him. And if he starts doing anything sexual, and then I will expose him.
Go ahead and flirt with him. If he does anything sexual, then I will expose him. Okay. Meanwhile, she states, I'm not a minor. Well, you know what, crime analyst? You know what this reminds me of? The girl that cheered on and encouraged her partner, her boyfriend at the time, to take his own life in the car. You guys remember that case? She was actually charged in it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll explain that part later. And when she started flirting with him, he obviously showed no interest in dating her.
Right.
And I'm not sure or not, but I think he blocked her. I'm not sure.
Okay.
So then nothing happened, like, on my side. What I didn't know is that she was also telling 3 other people about it.
Nothing happened on my side. What I didn't know, Michelle Carter, yes. Maybe we'll go over that next, Solo. What I didn't know is that she was telling 3 other people. So he's distanced himself completely. He's like, I was like, let it go. And none of that's true, which means this kid doesn't have remorse or fully grasp the gratitude of what just took place, right? Or maybe he does, and that's why he's trying to distance himself. It's all a game.
Okay. And that would be Keegan's mask is one of them?
Yeah, probably. I don't know who they are, but she told me that one of them made a video about it.
Right.
And that's how I believe it got on TikTok and started trending. And then she used the screenshot of me saying flirt with him, just using me as attention, I guess. That's how I feel about it.
Okay, so right here, I'm gonna break out 2 parts. One part being, so I guess that's how it got on social media. A person took their life. There's no guessing. You know damn well how it got there, why it got there, when it got there. And then the fact that he thinks that his screenshot was added in there for clouts, for attention. That is the problem with these kids in social media. Oh, yeah, so he just added my name in there for attention, so it'd get seen further.
People took it as in, I want you to flirt with him so he can just say things to you and we can expose him and ruin his life. That's not what I meant. What I meant was, if he starts, I will expose him to the authorities, not TikTok. I made that very clear.
Okay, so now he's saying, well, no, he wanted you to flirt with we wanted him to flirt with you so I could expose him to authorities. No, he literally said we need to cancel him. It was for social media purposes. This kid's a bullshitter.
Clear on one of my messages saying my TikTok is not to ruin people's lives.
Right. I just need to make notes for myself. I have ADD and a very short attention span, so I need to make notes for myself, or else I'm gonna forget. I apologize. Okay. So how did we get to here?
The screenshot where it said don't flirt with him.
Right.
Because it makes it look like I wanted to flirt him for no reason.
Right. So that's kind of your side. And then how did you find out that he had killed himself?
Well, when he disabled his account for about she told me she was going to bed, and then not even seconds, not even a minute later, she texted back saying, "Why is Inquisitor live? Why is his account, active again?"
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Jay Renee, this is his girlfriend. Yep. He sent in his underage girlfriend to pose as an adult to get this guy to flirt with her so they can turn around and expose him as a pedo.
And I was questioning that myself, so I look on her live and there's just nothing happening. She goes to bed. I on it a few minutes later, still nothing happening. Then I go to bed with the news of what happened.
Okay.
It's hard to
How
understand.
did you feel when you
him.
heard about that?
I didn't know what to believe, to be honest, because I didn't know if it was people were saying it's a setup or it's real or it's for attention. I didn't know what it was.
So he didn't know if the stream where he takes his own life was bullshit for attention, if it was real. He didn't know.
Do you understand? Do you understand? And you are aware that he is dead?
Yes.
You're aware of that now? Okay.
Right. So why does it matter what you thought then? We know he is deceased now. You know that now. You know your actions led to that.
I want to make sure. It's very common for, kind of shock. And it's, it must be hard to believe, to wake up and be like, what is this really happening? I have a couple questions. I just want to start with the first one. My first question. You mentioned that she had sent you the live on WhatsApp.
Hey, Joe.
She didn't send me the live on WhatsApp. She told me that he was live on WhatsApp.
Oh, he was. So you can go live on WhatsApp.
No. She was on TikTok. She saw that he was live and she told me about it through WhatsApp.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So my follow-up question to that is, if this is your girlfriend, why do you guys not have your personal information, your guys' phone numbers? Why use something anonymous like WhatsApp?
We have all of our information. We just keep it private. We're not going to share it to people, but I mean.
So, I understand, but why did she specifically choose to speak to you about the Inquisitor through WhatsApp?
Well, what's funny about that is his kid's going to learn. He's going to learn the tough way that he never met this girlfriend. They never met in person. They don't really know each other. So, yeah. He'll learn rather quickly that you can't just date.
WhatsApp rather than texting you. I'm just confused. I've never used WhatsApp. So I'm under the impression that it's anonymous, it's encrypted, and people use it to not share their phone numbers, right? So
right.
It would seem to me like if someone was sending information over WhatsApp, it would be either one, because they don't want it to be able to be tracked back to them, the encryption, or number two, that they're planning on at a later date showing this message and they don't want to expose their own personal information. So have you considered why that information was only shared over WhatsApp?
The girlfriend in question is 17, and in a few months she'll be 18.
And not personal phone numbers.
She lied and told Inquisitor that she was not a minor when she was.
Well, but usually we start talking on WhatsApp when we play video games together, because I play on my phone and I can't text her on Snapchat or something, while I'm playing. So I can reply to the notification I get on the top of the screen.
Okay, I was just wondering, did it? And I'm just asking questions because I know that if you and I go live and we have this conversation again, these are questions that people are going to ask. So I just want to be the one to ask you first. Are you aware that it could be perceived that maybe you were communicating with her over WhatsApp because of the age difference, because she's 17 and you're 20?
So meanwhile, she's over here secretly recording. Yes, she attempted to entrap an adult to blackmail him. It didn't work. It did not work because the guy did not fall for it at all. Here's where he's going to clarify their ages.
Did that have anything to do with it, or was it just more of a convenience thing?
I turned 18 2 months ago.
So you're not 20?
That's another, whatever you call it.
So where did that, what year were you born in?
2005, July 16, 2005.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Lucille. Thank you. Exactly. Truth and tales. This isn't fun content. This is very sad content, but it needs to be seen. And more, I'm shocked there's not more attention on it. Shocked by that.
So that's a misconception then. You're not 20 years old dating an 18-year-old. That's very important. That's important.
Yeah. We were both 17 at one point.
Okay. And how did you meet her?
She was on my TikTok and she was just talking to me. She was talking to me through Snapchat and then Discord. And I was with somebody else at the time and I broke up with her and she was talking to my ex and she was also talking to me. And then
and she was talking to my ex and she was also talking to me. And meanwhile, she's also talking to this guy trying to convince him. Oh my goodness. With all the evidence for it being false allegations that he wasn't cleared. Because he's not clear. Because it wasn't false information. Because he's a bullshitter. A lot of people trying to get people canceled are doing the same shit. This cancel culture shit needs to die. Agree, B-fam. Agree completely.
she asked me out over Snapchat, basically.
So you don't know her in real life. You guys don't live in the same state. You don't. No, you guys don't know each other in real life. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, it's 2023. That's how relationships be starting. No problem. Okay, so my next question was, you said that the first text that she'd shared with you that you believe to be evidence of him speaking inappropriately with a minor was the one where he says, "Oh my God, marry me," and that one. I think I can actually pull it up. I think I have it right here. If you just give me a second, because I don't want to misquote it.
Absolutely.
I think it's right here.
Make an example.
Okay, so
teach these other kids that this isn't okay, that you will not get away with this. I hope they do.
Are you referring to the text messages in which he says, "I'm gonna marry you," and she goes, "Ha," and he goes, "Thank you, honey." Right.
Yes.
Okay. You had seen those screenshots. Did you see them in total, or had she cropped it at the time that you saw it? Like she just screenshotted it and just sent it to you?
She screenshotted it and cropped it. That's the only way I've ever seen it.
So you weren't aware at the time that the context was him being excited about the fact that she'd made multiple edits for him. Were you aware of that?
I know that she made edits for him, but I didn't know that that's what he was talking about.
Did you think that it was a little bit... Go ahead.
She doesn't have his contact anymore, so I don't know whether if it was about an edit or not. And I know she made edits for him, but I don't know what he's saying. "I'm going to marry you" about.
Right. Well, we have the full context, and the full context is.
You know what, John? I love that you just said that. Detective John says, "This is why I took my teenage daughter's door off the hinges when I caught her dancing on TikTok when she was 13. It was off for 2 years till I felt I could trust her again. Laugh loud, do it. So when my daughter was 13, I took the door off her hinges as well." And it was funny because some people say kids deserve their privacy. That's an invasion of their privacy and blah, 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 blah. No. Kids do deserve privacy, but they earn privacy. As the parents, we have to protect them and we have to teach them. I couldn't believe the outrage I seen over another TikToker who did the same thing with their child, took the door And people were screaming about, privacy. And, well, because there's safe places in the fucking colleges now, right? Everybody gets a trophy. No child left behind. And these kids really do. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I had to say to my daughter, who do you think you are? You give respect to earn respect. These kids don't have any respect for authority. They have no respect for their elders. They have no respect for anything. They don't even respect themselves. And that's where we come in and we have to teach it by any means necessary. And it's just unbelievable how ass backwards. I mean, look at TikTok. It's a fantasy world. It is an absolute fantasy world. I'll never forget when my daughter's like, well, I'm not going to respect her. She doesn't respect me. Well, that's not the way it works. She's, of authority figure. The way these kids talk back to teachers, I don't even know how we still have teachers. This whole is the saddest thing. It's really scary how entitled this younger generation is. Whew.
She made multiple edits for him in a short period of time. She sent it to him. He's expressing excitement. He goes, bro, and she goes, huh? And he goes, I'm gonna marry you. She then says, I'm almost done, just need the shakes. So she's talking about the final edit. He says, thank you, honey. We have all the time. You can send it when you want. So the full context is actually him expressing excitement, also fully believing that she's an adult. Were you aware of that?
Mm-hmm.
I was not aware of that, no.
Okay, fair enough. Did you think that, if somebody, because I've had people do that to me. For example, my best friend was talking to somebody he wasn't supposed to, that was like being awful to me. And when he would share what she was saying, he was cropping out the rest of the conversation. That immediately set off alarm bells for me. Did that read as weird to you?
No, it didn't.
No, okay.
No, it didn't.
Do you recognize now that was probably an error?
Yeah.
That context is.
Well, British, that's the difference right there. A lot of these kids don't have a father in the home. They don't have that, wait till your father comes home anymore type of thing going on. A lot of them. That's why I was saying earlier, the traditional family is pretty much out the window. It really is. No, I don't, infamous truth teller, but I can put them. Yeah, you can instill a little fear in your kids. Sorry, my opinion. I agree. Remember when they just give the look and you knew? My kids will be respectful and they will follow the rules of life or whatever. Yeah, that's what we can hope for. I have 5 adult kids. They all thank me now for being so mean when they were kids. They wanted to be the boss. I made sure they understood I was their mom, not their friend. Yep. I said that to my daughter. So my daughter's 17 now. And I said to her the other day, I said, I'm not your friend. And she was like, I would never have you as a friend. And I said, good, that I'm doing it right. You know what I mean? Because the minute you say you would want me as your friend, I failed. I'm not your friend. I'm your mother. And I, love you, but I'll never be your friend. I'll talk to you like a friend. We can confide in each other like a friend, but I'm not your friend.
Is very important. So I just want to refer back because there's a screen message. I'm sure you know which one. It's over WhatsApp. It's the one that you referred to about, the flirting, the proof, which one. That's you. That's her. That's you and her speaking over WhatsApp, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So my next question is, you said that you said, if he starts to get sexual, then I will expose him. We just need better and more proof. And you said that
Right.
What you were actually meaning is that you wanted to expose him to the police.
Let this be the perfect time to show you all how the internet works. The minute I started telling a little personal details about me, the minute I started sharing a little information between me and my daughter and me as a mother, my numbers jumped, okay, by about 15. They're slowly going back down because I stopped the conversation. That right there is an example of these weirdos that sit on the internet and they look for any little thing to clip and use against you to portray an image they want to make, rather it be because they don't like you, because there's a dozen reasons, but you guys get the points. Look at that. Look how quickly the numbers shut back down. Isn't that funny? Just like if I was to start right now doing whatever. You get the point.
And not TikTok,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
My question is, you say, baby, we need a reason for him to get canceled. I've never heard of somebody reporting a crime to the police as being canceled. That's kind of a widely known term as being exposed publicly and then, you know, basically losing your platform. How would you explain that to people who are going to ask that question?
Well, I definitely didn't mean TikTok, but I definitely should have thought about what I said.
Because my question, and again, this is what other people are going to say, so I don't want you to feel like I'm attacking you. But when we're speaking privately with people, we tend to kind of say what we mean. So when you say, you know, we need more proof, we need him to get canceled, people are going to look at that and say, you guys both had similar platforms. You guys were kind of rivals. I think at one point he wasn't really aware that was happening. I think some of your guys' fans, you know, kind of created that as what happens in the cosplay world. Was there any part of you that was hopeful that this information would be true? Because then, I mean, that's better for you, right? You have somebody that's your direct competitor that, like, now you don't got that anymore, right? Was there any part of that that may be true?
Well, I definitely didn't want it to be true that he was a pedophile. I want less pedophiles in this world, but I mean, I really wanted nothing to do with it. Like, even if he did sex her, I still wouldn't know what to do. Like, I wouldn't know what number to call or what place to go.
Isn't that ironic that you just heard him say that? That he, even if the person did turn around and was sexting with his underage girlfriend posing as an adult, he wouldn't know where to go. He wouldn't know what number to call because he had no intent on taking it legally. He had no intent on real life consequences. He wanted to destroy this man through social media and have him canceled. That is it, and that is all. And how often do we see that? How often do you see that on here? How many times have you stopped and asked somebody, well, if you're saying this person is a pedo, why aren't you calling the police? Why are you making content about it instead of contacting the police? Because they don't really believe it. They don't really care. They just want to cancel people.
Fair enough. Before I move on to another question, I just had one question that I actually just thought of. There's a video, and I don't have my phone because I'm on my phone and it's not on my laptop. My laptop's right here.
I'm going to forward this a little bit. So she brings up a video where he's dancing and he tags people about canceling the guy, and he turns around and says it's not me, and it wasn't him.
So I guess my question is like, you know, do you acknowledge at all that you have like commented about this publicly?
Of course not.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so what, like video wise, like in part of like trying to like quote unquote cancel him, I guess. Like, do you feel like you have no role, that this is just strictly your girlfriend that was doing this, correct?
I definitely have a role in it.
Okay, so maybe that's a better question. What do you feel like your role is? Oh, here it is. Here.
We gon' fuck it in the back of the bus and feel like no something full of that dust. 3-6 mafia, wild on tour. Moving these niggas and fucking these whores. In the back room, about 2 whole.
So that's where it turns out it's not really him in the video. I wish I would have cut that sooner because my other video got won't be seen all around because it got the content whatchamacallit, whatever. Basically the music prevented my stream. So he says, no, that's not me. She says it's not okay.
Let me just go through some of these other ones.
She can't prove it's him.
Coercing. It seems like you have a role in that. Like people are not going to like people, I guess, yeah. Like, well, what do you feel like your role was? What do you feel like you did wrong? What would you do differently, I guess?
I feel like it's just the way I explained it because I didn't know that the message was going to be on TikTok everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
When I told her, see where it goes, that meant either he texted you back flirting or he blocked you. And he blocked her.
Right. But then you say, baby, we need a reason for him to get canceled. Because she said, isn't that a lot of proof? And you're basically saying, no, it's not, because flirting is one thing, but sexting is another.
I'll tell you, Russ, that sounds great, right? That's our easy solution. And I've done just that for months now. I have ignored every little thing that is said about me, every tag that is given to my name. I've ignored all of it. It doesn't stop them. Matter of fact, what people will do a lot of times is they will go further. They'll go deeper. They will absolutely go to any low spot, make any accusations they can to get your attention. It's horrible. It is absolutely horrible. It is one of the grossest things. Instead of realizing that after a bit of time, you know, you start to display more of who you are than who they are. Do you know what I'm saying? Like when you're making a post every single day, tagging somebody, they're not even responding to you. You start to show more about yourself than you do the other person. Oh, it just makes me so angry.
Exactly. She hasn't flirted with him yet during the preference.
But she actually had, because she had expressed right here, the date is whatever 09 is. I don't I'm a little slow right now, but
September?
Is that it? Okay, yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, oh yeah, it is. Okay, so September 16th, she says to him, oh my God, she messages him, oh my God, hi, I love you, date me. He says, you should ask in general if you can date me. She says, oh, sorry, can we get to know each other? He says, nope. She says, why? I'm not a minor. He says, I'm not interested, I'm sorry. So he's actually explicitly expressed believing that she's an adult. She also has sent this message publicly. She says, my boyfriend said I should get more evidence since the one thing I have isn't enough. And since the Inquisitor had minor DM on his bio, I said I'm not a minor, even though I am. So it kind of sounds like you instructed her to reach out to him, because what would her motive be to reach out, to lie, to then say to you, you know, this guy's flirting with me. And then you get to the point where she's actually kind of expressing that she doesn't want to do it anymore because she's like, isn't this enough evidence? And you're saying, well, no, we need more. But isn't the fact that you need more evidence, isn't that kind of proof that there's no evidence at all? So why continue?
I thought that she sent that screenshot after I told her to do what I told her to do.
And why did you tell her to do that? Why did you feel like that was important? Because I don't think I've asked that.
Because I felt guilty about what she told me. It was important to me to make her happy.
Right. So when she said to you, like, what, you're not going to do anything, you felt like, as her man, that you had to protect her, right?
Yeah.
And like you want to
Go
ahead.
I did not know she was telling him that 4 days before she told me ill. He was like, I didn't know that.
Okay. So I guess
that was happening.
I guess a big question I have is, you know, I understand, you know, I'm a men's rights advocate. I, if anybody, understand the pressure men have to, you know, protect their women, right? I imagine you know, believed that this guy was, you know, a creep. And, you know, maybe you're like, oh, maybe, you know, my girlfriend's right. Maybe I should have done something. Am I right with that? So I guess my question to you is, what part of instructing a minor to put herself in harm's way where she's actually being potentially sexualized and preyed upon by an adult, what part of that was protecting her? That's what I'm not understanding. Why didn't you go to the police instead of, you know, because if you think about Chris Hansen, you know, he wants to get predators off the street, but he sends in adults acting like children, not children who are acting like adults. So I just don't understand how that was protecting her by making her responsible for obtaining evidence that wasn't there and putting herself at risk. Did you consider that that's what you were doing?
No, of course not. Of course not. Because that's not, he didn't care about any of that. He wanted to cancel this creator that he was likely jealous of or threatened by, and he wanted to cancel him. That's it. That's all. They didn't care. They didn't think it through. They didn't use any logic behind any of this. They use what these kids know, which is internet bullshit, antics, and cancel culture. That's it. They don't realize that there are real life consequences and effects to everything.
No, I did not.
Okay. Did you think to yourself that if you needed to try that hard to get evidence,
Hey,
then maybe there
Clarissa.
wasn't any to begin with?
Well, I think there was evidence to begin with, which was that I'm gonna marry you, but I didn't know that he was talking about the editing.
Okay. Fair enough.
That's why I said I needed more proof that he was actually a pedophile so I can report it.
But do you recognize
Yeah,
that even police officers wouldn't be allowed to do that? If they suspected somebody of being a pedophile, that's actually entrapment to put a child in. You know what I mean? Like,
There you go, Detective John. There you go. You said it earlier, my friend, and I knew they would say it now. There you go. Entrapment. They plan this. That at the very least, they should be held responsible for that and that alone.
they could say, oh, well, yes, he did it. But in the eyes of the law, they're going to say you coerced and you tricked that. It's kind of an extreme. No, not really, because we're basically talking about preying on children here. Like, I don't really understand where the cause and effect reasoning was, especially when you say that you didn't want to cancel him, you wanted to go to the police. But do you understand that the police would have questioned you as to why you were instructing, because you're an adult, you're 18, she's a minor, it's a legal relationship, but you're still instructing a minor to lie about her age.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
So you did instruct her to lie about her
Yes.
age?
No,
Yes. No, yes, you did. You did. Thank you so much, Booberry. Wow, thank you. You would think most of us adults here would know what the consequences of bullying on social media is, right? But yet they do it day in and day out. And listen, I'm not innocent. I have done my time where I thought I was bringing awareness. And before you know it, the more you focus on somebody and their shitty behaviors, you indirectly start reenacting them. You indirectly become them. How many times have I said, the more and longer you hate somebody, the more and longer you become like them, right? I've said this a dozen times. The longer you swim in the water, the more you come out smelling. And it is factual and it is true. I have never seen that one situation where it hasn't come to be true. So I changed. You self-reflect and you change what you're doing. You get back to the root of who you are. The fact that there are people out here who spent, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, in and day out bullying somebody. We're now buying Halloween masks to make fun of the way you perceive somebody to look. You're buying memberships to my channel to spy in on me. You're seeking out certain words out of conversations from years ago to tag people that I am associating with to try to get me. And they will do this and they will latch on to somebody for years, but you respond to them. You respond and they're a victim. How many times have we seen that? They become the victim. Although they poke, and push. It's fucking ridiculous. But yes, Booberry, thank you very much. I can go on a whole tangent with it, honestly. I could go on a whole tangent with it. Well, then to top it off, when you have the courage and the self-awareness to come on here and speak to your community and tell them that you're not in a very good place, that the tactics of which they are using to get you down are working, they fucking laugh and mock that. Until they want to come out and say they're depressed or they're this. And then it's all, but they want pity. They want pity. They don't give a shit so long as they're doing it to somebody else. And that's the problem with social media.
I did not instruct her to lie about her age. That was completely her. I didn't know she lied about her age until after what happened to him on his live.
Okay, you just instructed her to flirt with him.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. So you expressed that your goal wasn't to have him canceled. You said that you misspoke. That your goal was to, get him, to the police or whatever.
Yeah.
Why didn't you ever call the police?
Because there was never enough proof.
So then if there wasn't enough proof, then why would you allow these people like Keegan's mask to speak so publicly of him like he was a pedophile? You said it in comments. You admitted you had said that to other creators. If there wasn't enough evidence to go to the police, what made you think there was enough evidence to convince other people of this?
Well, I never said he was a pedophile. I said he was flirting with her. And
Well, that's kind of
I never
insinuating
told-
that, isn't it?
what?
I said, well, that's kind of insinuating that, isn't it? Like, if I see somebody taking my candy and I say that person took my candy, I'm not saying that person stole, but by saying they took, I'm insinuating a thief, right? So you're insinuating that.
Okay, yeah. And I never told anybody to make a video about it. I never told anybody until people already knew about it through her friends that she told and spread it out through TikTok.
So why didn't you ever say publicly, hey guys, you know, this isn't, I actually have knowledge that this is false, and you guys are saying something that I know there's not enough evidence for. Why didn't you ever say that?
I'm sorry, you cut out. Say that again.
You said that you didn't make any of these claims publicly, but you saw other people making them. And why did you never come forward and correct that and say, hey guys, I actually know of the opposite, that he's actually not into minors. He's not expressing interest, so much so that I have to try to get my girlfriend to get more evidence. Like, why didn't you say something when people were accusing him of something you knew wasn't true?
Yeah. Why didn't he speak up? Right? That's the whole thing. And I was waiting for her to get to that point. Why not speak up? Why not at that point speak up? Hey, Limey, welcome. Why not speak up? Excuse me. Why not speak up? My voice broke there. Why not speak up and say, hey, listen, we had no evidence. Instead, he was tagged. He was participating. He was laughing. He was making videos. Why not? Because he couldn't get canceled that way. That's why not. Because that was the ultimate goal, was to get this guy canceled. And unfortunately, it led in him canceling his entire life. And this kid here, throughout his entire time we've been listening, which is 33 minutes out of 48, has not taken one single fucking second to acknowledge what he's done. He shows zero remorse. Doesn't even seem like he grasped the reality of what it was. He just doesn't get it. Is it that he doesn't get it or doesn't care? That's my real question. Is it is it because these kids are antisocial? Is it because they never have consequences? Is it because they live in a fantasy world and this is the real world? What is it? But you can tell without a doubt that he does not understand the gravity of what he participated in. He doesn't get it.
It's not my content. I mean, I don't know. I didn't know what was true and what was false, to be honest, because there's messages of him, you know, I'm going to marry you, honey, but
Right.
I did that in a flirting way. I didn't know he was talking about editing. There was a lot of theories. I don't know.
Right. Fair enough. But you at no point thought that you were responsible to, like, check your facts? I mean, people are holding you accountable very publicly, so much so that you even wrote a statement, right? So, you know, you say, it hurts to hear the news, you know, I won't accept death threats, doxing. I've taken down all posts regarding the situation, both out of respect to him. So here you're actually admitting that you made multiple posts. You said you deleted anything that has any details of the allegations that may have been false. So in your statement, you actually, this is your statement. This is your apology. Did you not make a public statement? Have you ever made a public, you've never spoken publicly about this. You never made.
Of course I have, but can you tell me what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's this long screenshot. It says, this is you. This was taken from your Instagram. I think it was your Instagram. It was one of your socials that says, I acted on what I thought was true, factual information from someone I trusted. At no point did I wish harm against Inquisitor, and it hurts me to hear the news of his passing. But I will not accept death threats, doxing, and false allegations on how I handled the situation. As I said, I acted on what I was to believe was factual information from someone I trusted.
How many times now has he thrown his girlfriend under the bus, right? From the very start of this to his one message he wrote. Hold on one second, guys. He has thrown his girlfriend under the bus the entire time, and he's doing it again right there in that statement.
I have taken down all posts regarding the situation, both out of respect for Inquisitor, as well as the emerging details that the allegations were false. I wanted to use my platform for good, to expose these allegations and to find a deeper truth. I can't read that last one. But this is all, I mean,
Okay, sorry. So, you know, at first he goes and says that well, he just wanted right. Guilty people were yeah, absolutely. They always deflect. Her finding that their fake evidence got this far. Yep. And he starts with, you know, well, he wanted to protect his girlfriend. Remember that? He was the protector. He's done nothing but throw her under this entire time. And listen, I'm not saying he doesn't have points, but he is dismissing his participation and downplaying it. He is completely downplaying it. It is gross. It is absolutely gross. He's just not accepting that he was part of this by any means. And he was, by all means. He was the leader of it, for fuck's sake.
if you go on TikTok, I mean, it's all over TikTok. People have screened. This is very well known that this is you that made this statement. Did somebody maybe make this on your behalf?
I don't remember making that statement.
Okay. Is there a possibility you could have and you're just not remembering? Is that what you're saying? Or are you definitively saying, I did not make that statement? People are gonna, you could have made this. There's a possibility. Okay.
Yeah, but that's not how I talk.
So what?
I mean,
so you could have made this. Okay. So do you have? And this question is going to sound very rude. It's not intended to be. But do you have do you take medication? Do you use a lot of illicit substances? Have you have like brain trauma that would cause you to not remember if you had? Because I mean, this is a pretty big deal. I feel like if people were accusing me of being responsible for somebody's death, I would be able to definitively say whether or not I made a statement publicly, because I believe this
When was that posted?
When was it posted?
Like, when was it posted?
I don't know. I don't have the exact. One day ago, I got this October 12th, like maybe October 11th.
I hadn't posted anything for weeks, besides telling people that my girlfriend tried to commit suicide because of it.
Oh, yes, that's right. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, there's that one too.
So, no, that was.
But that came from the same account of you saying that she was going to, yeah, here it is right here. It's, let me just pull it up. It's the next one. It says, fuck you all. She tried to commit suicide thanks to your death threats. I hope this makes the Call of Duty community feel better. That's the same page.
And the next one.
That's it. You posted the apology, and then at a later point, but it was still in the same story, you posted frustration that people were attacking your girlfriend. I mean,
the audacity after his actions led to somebody taking their own life for him to say, you all made her try to take her life. Tried to take her life. Keyword tried. And yes, am I sympathetic to that? I am. They are kids. They are very young adults. I am sympathetic to that. But the nerve to show more empathy towards an attempt because you care about her. That's the difference, folks. He doesn't give two shits about Inquisitor. He doesn't care anything about him. But he cares enough about his girlfriend. Hey, new account. Yeah, apparently it's a pretty cutthroat little community over there. So yeah, there you have it. He is angry that his girlfriend almost did it. That he could show a little bit of anger and emotions towards, because he's been pretty emotionless this entire time. There's been no real emotions shown from this kid.
Understandably, that must be hard.
It was a story?
Yeah, it looks like it. It might have been a TikTok video. You didn't. Where did you post? You said that you did post about your girlfriend attempting suicide. Where did you post that?
TikTok.
Okay, so then this was posted on your TikTok then. This long statement of yours came from your TikTok. I mean, I can track down the original screenshot. The screenshot I have, unfortunately, is from my team, from somebody who took a screen capture of your statement. But I believe it's TikTok. So
he's just denying it.
You made the second statement, just not the first one.
Yeah, I don't remember making the first one. I don't talk like that. I didn't even know what doxing was at the time. I learned what doxing was a day ago.
Okay.
I learned what doxing was a day ago when I participated in a man taking his own life. That's when I learned what doxing was. So he's completely denying writing that, which, matter of fact, it would have been better if he did. Because he's admitting to the second one about the girlfriend, but he's denying his initial and first response, which means he has not responded at all to this situation except to say, poor my girlfriend, woe is her. That's it. Wow, my girlfriend, you're pushing her. You are the reason a man is gone. You're a reason a father had to walk in and find his son laying on the floor. You're the reason.
Okay, so your first response publicly was, fuck you all. She, hold on, let me see. Fuck you all. She tried to commit suicide thanks to your death threats. That was your first public statement?
No, my first public statement was me explaining my story, but no one listened to that, so I deleted them.
No, my first was me explaining my story, but nobody listened to that, so I deleted it. Wow. Okay. This is unbelievable. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, the three videos.
But he is
18. Correct. Okay. I watched those videos and I didn't hear you express any condolences or anything. And for a lot of people, I think they think that this is your first statement. Do you feel like that's a little bit like insensitive? Like, I just want, like, because people are going to ask you like where you get off saying fuck you when,
Right.
you know, directly or indirectly, your actions did inevitably lead to somebody taking their life, whether you meant to or not.
Right.
I mean, they're going to ask you that. Why do you feel angry?
Right. What right do you have being angry that your girlfriend supposedly, allegedly attempted to unalive when you are legitimately the reason a kid did? Because that generation is entitled. They are selfish. They don't realize there's real world consequences. That's probably why. Probably has a good bit to do with it. I'd have to think.
Because two wrongs don't make a right. I mean, I understand banning me. Yeah. I understand, you know, just canceling all my social media, telling my parents.
You see? Right there. He thinks his consequences for what he did, which is, according to many, and including the detective in the chat, is entrapment. He thinks his consequences should be cancel him and remove his channel. Because again, these kids live in a social media fantasy world. She's a creator in all of this, Jay Renee. She's a creator in all of this. She has equally as much to benefit. Yep. Yeah. Because they're just so disconnected from the real world. That is the big punishment. Go ahead and cancel me, you know, take my channel. Yeah. And you know what? I bet you that would be world ending for a lot of these kids.
Parents about it. They're not telling me you're going to rape my family.
Mm-hmm.
And leak our addresses.
No, that's pretty uncalled for. Your family members don't deserve to be involved in that. I think that is ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. And his family members didn't deserve to lose a child. During the video where he unalives himself, you hear his father screaming. You hear him. You hear the father's pain. This kid should have to listen to that every day, every single day.
I understand that. I understand how you could feel that way. You're 18, right? You're not 20. So my next question doesn't really matter. Do you feel like you were kind of the adult in the situation?
Yes.
Do you feel like, as the adult in the situation, that it was your responsibility, because you care, clearly you care about, you know, minor safety, you care about your girlfriend. Do you think it was your responsibility? Guess what? Yeah. If the courts did that, they would turn around and they would say, you're infringing on their rights. Freedom of speech. That would be the next one. To handle that situation,
I see you, Noodle Mash.
To tell her rather than encouraging her to put herself in a position of potential harm, do you feel like it was your responsibility to say, hey, let's deal with this appropriately. Stop telling other creators this because we actually don't have the evidence.
No, because he's 18. He didn't think of any of that. He wanted this guy canceled.
Yeah, that was not my responsibility.
It wasn't.
That's not my to tell her to do that.
But it was
It's not my responsibility. No, because you told her to do opposite.
your place to tell her to flirt and try to get him to sex. What's the difference?
Like,
He's stressed out now because he just said yes. Yes, it's my place to tell her to flirt and get him called up.
So then, but that's actually doing the antithesis of protecting. And you said you got into this position because you felt the need to protect her, but protecting her would actually be correcting the choices or attempting to correct.
All right, we're going to forward.
Do you understand that people very clearly and almost rightfully look at that as you coercing and encouraging this?
Yep.
It's very difficult for you to separate yourself when there's those instructions. And, regretfully, I don't have all of the screenshots on hand. Maybe I should have. But there are comments, there are videos of yours.
He likely did this interview to get somebody on his side to help, come out here and make him look innocent. But it doesn't work that way at all.
That you made leading, encouraging this and saying that you believed it and, even saying you did believe it. And what's your stance now? Do you believe it still or no? Do you think he was innocent?
Absolutely not.
So are you still with your girlfriend? What's the status there? I'm sure this has made it kind of...
It's our relationship.
I can imagine. Are her parents aware of what's happened?
Yes, absolutely. They get that threat all the time now.
Yeah, I had to think about that for a second.
Wait till you see how it ends.
Are your parents aware of what happened?
Yeah, absolutely.
And how are they reacting to it? It must be really scary for them. They're what?
They're worried about me.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, they're worried about you. Yeah. The same way his parents.
I'm a parent. I would be worried for my child.
They're just very sad about that. Yeah.
Fair enough. Have the police been contacted? Has your family been reached out to by police? Nothing in that department? Okay.
No.
Fair enough. Okay.
You know why? You know why the police didn't contact? Because nobody knew who he was. But that all changed. That all changed.
I don't really have a whole lot more questions. I don't think I have any more questions. Look, I don't think you realize, I don't know if it's because of your age. I don't know if maybe
because she was tricking him that she wasn't recording.
I don't know if maybe you're a narcissist. I don't know. But I don't think you realize the impact and the severity of what has happened here. And maybe you do. Maybe
I want to pause for a moment and point out that Roma literally just said right here that maybe it's because of your age. Okay, so she does realize, she does know that he is an 18, just newly turned 18 in July. He is a very young adult. And she is a mother.
That's why you're trying so hard to distance yourself. But you need to understand that as the adult in the situation, you were responsible. It was, in fact, your place to make sure that this didn't happen. She's responsible for lying about her age, but you're responsible for encouraging it. And I truly believe that what happened is murder. I don't think you guys intended for it to go this far. I don't think anybody could have anticipated. I mean, how awful. I'm sure that if you could go back in time, none of this would have happened, but it did. And for you to sit back and put all of the onus on this 17-year-old and none on yourself, I think is not just irresponsible and unfair to her, but it's also unfair to yourself for moral growth, because I don't know if you're going to be held legally liable. But this is just something that you're going to have to sit with. And I don't really think that you feel bad.
In July, he himself was 17 in July.
And that's not my place to tell you to feel bad. But I just want you to know that I'm not going to make this live. I'm not going to platform you for a simple reason. I truly believe that the next time people see you live, it's going to be live streaming your walk from the courthouse to jail. I think that you
And it
separating
should.
yourself from this is irresponsible. I think that you're a disgusting human being. And I think that you need to look within yourself and realize what you did to this man. You made somebody feel like their life wasn't worth it.
Now, if Roma ended on that note, I'd applaud, right? I would applaud it. But what she says next had me so fucking angry. And I'm going to be honest, I was mad. I actually commented. I was mad.
Because you wanted attention. You wanted him to be canceled. And whether you've admitted that to yourself or not, that is what has happened. So I'll show this conversation. People will hear your words, but nobody is going to side with you. And I promise you, this is being recorded, so I'm not going to say it. But like your family members, they are out there. And I'm going to ensure that nothing bad happens to them. I'm going to use my platform to stress to people that they.
So after she just said, you know, your family doesn't deserve to be involved in this and blah, 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 she's now going to say your family members are out there, right? So you're basically threatening that you have his family members. But what she says next, I couldn't get behind it.
They're not responsible for the monster living in their family. But what I am going to do is give all the information that people have collected to his father. I'm going to raise money and I'm going to get his dad the best fucking lawyer that there is so that you guys are held responsible. Because the fact that you can sit in your house behind your mask like nothing happened is deplorable. And if you, for some reason, decided to take the same route that he did, I promise you, nobody would be upset and nobody would miss you.
What she just said there, the way she just ended that was absolutely despicable. As a bigger creator with a large platform, to say to this kid who just 4 months ago was 17 himself that if he decided to end his own life, nobody would care and nobody would miss him. You are now no better than he was in this entire situation. And what she just said is fucking despicable and deplorable within itself. How can you sit here and talk to this kid this entire time about the severity of his words and his actions and then turn around and do something as gross? That right there was so fucking reckless. So now guess what? If he did in turn turn around and end his life after this, well, guess what, Roma? You're now sitting where he was. People are now going to look at you and say, well, if you didn't say to him that he should and nobody would miss him, he wouldn't have done it. Oh, that pissed me off so bad.
So that you guys are held responsible. Because the fact that you can sit in your house behind your mask like nothing happened is deplorable. And if you, for some reason, decided to take the same route that he did, I promise you, nobody would be upset and nobody would miss you. Thank you.
Nobody would be upset and nobody would miss you. After she gaslit him this entire time through DMs in the conversation that she was empathetic and understanding, then she lays it into him. But if she would have just took the last 10 minutes out, I would have been so behind everything she said. But as an adult in the situation, ain't that right, Roma? Isn't that what she said to him? That he was the adult in the situation. She's the adult in the situation. She literally said, I relate to your parents because I have kids. But then you were going to go at the end and you were going to say some vile, gross shit, reckless shit like that. While the whole entire topic is about things like that. That was literally so gross. She's no better. She's no better. Call him a monster, a sociopath. Tell him nobody would care or miss him if he decided to unalive himself. You're no better. And then put it on your platform where, let's see, how many? 40K people saw that and cheered it. How does that solve the problem? It is literally repeating the problem. And that's why she gets on my nerves. After she tells them that and says all that, she then does this. Left it in God's hands. No, you didn't.
I have re-recorded this video a million times, and I just need to speak from the heart. After really careful consideration, and after my 40-minute interview with the man directly responsible for creating false allegations that caused a man to take his own life, I have decided to expose this man's face. Many of us have had a really long, tragic week, very emotional for those of us who knew the Inquisitor's content personally, and for those like me who only heard about him afterwards. What happened to him was unfair, it was irresponsible, and tragic is not a strong enough word.
So it was so unfair, it was irresponsible, it was tragic that you go and you basically wish the same upon the kid that caused it, right? Because that wouldn't be irresponsible. Really? I can't believe that there are people in the comment sections of hers cheering on that she added that last bit to it. Literally dismissed the first 38 minutes, 39 minutes of what she said.
An adult man conspired and coerced a minor to lie about her age to entrap an adult into inappropriate conversations with sex.
And listen, I agree. It was entrapment. It was all the good things. But she is making it like an adult man, like a man in his 30s took a minor, like a 13-year-old. The kid turned 18 3 months ago. 4 months ago, July, August, September, October. 3 months ago, he was 17 himself. And 6 months, she'll be 18. But you know what? This is what sells. The dramatics, the extra juicy details. It is what sells. And it is exactly what she is doing here is exactly what they did to the victim. It's fair, not exactly, but it's very similar. Sensationalize something that doesn't need to be sensationalized.
Said minor. And when this adult turned down this minor, fully thinking that she was a grown-up, they decided to lie and allow other TikTok creators like Keegan's Mask to spread the news and the allegation that he was a child toucher. That was never the case, and they knew that. But nevertheless, this man took his own life. And after doing this interview and seeing the sheer lack of remorse...
Has anybody noticed one or two things yet? One of two things yet? She has yet to mention the victim's name. We just watched 48 minutes and we are watching another one, and she has yet to acknowledge what the victim's name was. She doesn't care about the victim. It's clicks and views for her. She put on this one show where she's hysterically crying, and it just came off so cringe and fake to me. The fact that she would end a lecture as an adult woman, with children of her own, telling this very young, he's an adult, he's a very young adult, that he should go ahead and off himself. That was her logical, this is the woman we should be listening to? This is the woman we should be praising? This is the woman that's leading the charge? One whose answer is to tell the, I mean, come on.
Accountability and the lack to understand the severity and the fact that a man lost his life because of these people's direct actions, I have decided to expose Tito's face. Had he shown a shroud of remorse, a little bit of empathy for a second, I wouldn't.
So after she tells this kid to go unalive himself, after she tells this kid nobody would care and nobody would miss him, she is now going to take to her platform to bully, because now she is bullying. Because now she has made about 4 videos on the situation, and now, as if her words weren't powerful enough, Because that was her whole intent, Jay Renee. Because what this woman on the screen is a master manipulator. She is a fucking troll herself. She has found a way as a woman. I'll save all that for another day. When I give you guys the background, the history of this woman, you will completely understand what I am saying. But I'll just let you know right now that she had every intent on ending it how she did. And she is no better, no different. So she spent 48 minutes with the guy, ends it by telling him that. And now she takes to another video where she's going to expose his photo. So she's going to tell the world his identity. It is an upside down cross on her neck. It is. But she fights for the men's. She cares about the men. Sign up for her OnlyFans. Sign up for her exclusive content. The woman is literally, I don't even know how to say it. Basically, she found a need and presented herself as an advocate for men to sucker them in to benefit off the men. Yeah, she literally lured him, but she lures all the men in a similar way.
Have done it because I would have left it in God's hands. I would have had enough faith in the justice system. But at the end of the day, men are not protected against false allegations. Men.
See, here she goes. Don't look at the actions of my behaviors. Listen to my words. I am telling you that men are not protected. I'm doing this for you, men. This is all for you, men. I care about all of you. But you don't care about this 18-year-old boy and him. Yeah,
lose just their lives due to false allegations every single day. And this man took his own life because he believed that that was the only way out of his reality, which was that people thought he was a monster. So Tito's acting badly, as the internet knows you as. I'm not going to expose your real name. I'm going to give that information to his father. Everything I have on you and your co-conspirators will be sent to his father because
first off, and I'm not saying this to be disrespectful or anything, but I don't even find her attractive. So when she goes and she puts up these like dancing videos of hers and tries to sell her OnlyFans content through these like sexual looking videos, but which she'll title with, men, don't sell yourself short. I don't even know how to, I'll have to show you guys in a minute what I'm talking about.
Because his father and his family and his fans and him, the Inquisitor, deserve justice. And you don't get to sit behind a silly fucking costume and act like you did nothing wrong. And
now, I would agree with that if she just didn't tell the kid to end his life, right? If she didn't just sit there and end that interview by telling that very young adult to take his life, I would agree what she's doing. And I'm going to end it there because I'm not going to show you all his photo. But what I am going to show you all is what I mean. Okay? Fighting for the men. It's all men. It is majority men. She even tells you herself. Many of you are aware that I have done NSFW content on my Patreon for 3 years. As time has gone on, as I've matured as a person, as I've come into the best shape of my life, I've decided I no longer want to create nude content. She no longer wants to create nude content, right? Join her Patreon here as she puts up a video of her. I mean, a picture of her. And let me tell you, if she could put up nude pictures of herself on the internet, she would, but she can't. Okay? But you know what makes her attractive, Jason? That she's fighting for the men. Men aren't taught to identify when they are depressed, anxious, or overwhelmed. Instead, they feel like they're failing. Here she goes again. If she can push a baby stroller, she can push a lawnmower. Take the weekend off, kings. So for all these men that aren't able to get attention from women, for all these, the incels or the red pills or the black pills in the manosphere, she is an ideal woman. This woman who is literally the definition of a pick-me, this woman who is literally selling herself on OnlyFans, which is everything against the manosphere, this woman who is a single mother, and this woman who is approaching what the manosphere would call the wall, okay, has found a way to sell herself as the one who cares about men. So much so that she wasn't able to, get a ring from her kid's father. but she's the perfect woman online. And this right here is another example of how people are able to build a fantasy life online. New hair. Today's a big day for my channel. The woman's literally a genius. She has found a way to wear the best mask. She has found a way to take a major part of the population by doing things like this. Hmm. So yeah, what her latest post about she's learning to love herself and blah blah blah, she likely has herself a boyfriend that doesn't want her selling herself anymore to these men who she encourages to not buy into OnlyFans, who she will tell, but then she'll say, but not mine, because I'm different. I'm different. Those other women, they just want your money. Me, I want to help you. Me, I generally care about your feelings. How much do you think she takes from a man to respond to him? I'm generally here for you. I am fighting for you. So support me. She has her fucking nipples showing here. Okay? Do you really think 30% angel, 70% devil? Is this the advocate these men need? I'd love to see stats showing how many of these creators are felons. Astounding how they're allowed to defraud people out of money using this platform. Well, I have to tell you, Detective John, I myself am a felon. Embarrassingly so, in recovery. Have made a complete change around my life. But you are correct. There are a lot of people that are able, such as Roma herself, come on here, such as the kid we just saw in the interview, and hide behind a mask and pretend to be all the things they're not. Pretend to be all the things they're not. I've never held my past from anybody. I'll be straight up honest with anybody because it's not who I am today. But people like Roma, you're not going to hear about her criminal charges. She'll never share that with all of you. She's a glorified bully under the guise of defending men. I'll tell you what she did to this woman right here. Now, this woman was absolutely wrong. This woman, while arguing with her boyfriend, there you go, fraudulent ones, yes. This woman on your screen, while arguing with her boyfriend, said, I don't know, you probably touch our kids. This is what she says during a personal argument with her boyfriend, who was recorded. He uploaded it to the internet, it went viral, and she ended up getting sympathy. Of course, Roma, the men's advocate, she comes in and makes about 12 videos on this woman to the point where the woman herself became suicidal and even sent a cease and desist with Roma, which then went and laughed at again. This woman, Roma, is nothing more. Look at her. How many videos you going to make on it, Roma? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 videos? What's this?
Many of you, including myself, even after my 40-minute interview with Tito, the man directly responsible for cultivating false allegations
Agreed.
that caused a man to take his own life live on TikTok, many of you, including myself, are still left with the question of what the hell was the motive? What motive could have been so important that it drove a grown man to coerce his 17-year-old girlfriend into pretending to...
Notice how she keeps saying a grown man, a grown man. He's 18. Put a 1 in the chat if you think 18 is a grown man. Put a 2 if you do not think 18 is a grown man. Oh, absolutely, by all means. Roma is literally a sheep, a wolf hanging amongst the sheep. That's what Roma is. Roma is everything she speaks against, she does. Right. Now, keep in mind, again, this kid turned 18 in July. August, September, October, 3 months. But she's saying grown man. So when she goes and does what she did next, nobody's going to frown at this grown woman. This grown woman telling an 18-year-old, very young by society standards adult, to unalive himself. She wants that to be acceptable. Hey, tattoos, to the point where she will drill into all of your heads that he is a grown man predator who preyed on a minor to entrap another man.
Be an adult to entrap an innocent man into pedophile allegations. Tito's acting badly despite his feeble attempt at hiding what his true motive was.
Despite your feeble attempt at putting fake fucking freckles on your face. Oh, so classy. They're a few months apart. That's it. Oh, you're delayed, Mama T Belly. I fixed it. Oh.
Actually made it very obvious. It's pretty common knowledge that what we say and what we perceive to be confidence and privacy is probably our true intentions and what we mean. If this was not widespread knowledge that it's valuable evidence, then the FBI would not have been able to take down the mafia in the 70s with FBI's most successful wiretaps in their entire history. So as awful and petty isn't even a big enough word for it, as this reasoning is, he clearly says the reason is to get him canceled. We see evidence of this again in the interview that I did with him, where his
Isn't that weird, new account who this? What do you think that the leader of the men's movement, the advocate for all the men, would know that? Would know at what age a man mentally matures? You would think she would know that, right?
subconscious severely fucked him over, because that's what our subconscious likes to do.
Was there any part of you that
What is she trying to do? She's trying to get this kid to take his life. Have a great day, Noodle Mash. Thank you for coming.
was hopeful that this information would be true, because then, I mean, that's better for you, right? You have somebody that's your direct competitor that, like, now you don't got that anymore, right? Was there any part of that that maybe?
Do you think the answer to something like this is to dox the perp? Maybe. But we're talking about somebody who already told you his family's receiving death threats. You let the police handle it at this point. You don't battle the issue with the issue. You don't take to social media to do the same thing to him that was done to another. Are you bringing awareness to the situation? Or are you bringing views to yourself?
True.
Well, I definitely didn't want it to be true that he was a pedophile.
Tito, not looking good. Now, when I directly asked him these questions, he actually gave me 2 different answers. Well, technically 3. What you're about to witness is him pretending to be disinterested in the whole thing to begin with.
Well, I definitely didn't want it to be true that he was a pedophile. I want less pedophiles in this world, but
Right.
I mean, I really wanted nothing to do with it. Like, even if he did sex her, I still.
That right there, Find and Hope. How pissed off would you be if you found out that this grown woman not only tricked, because I'm going to say she tricked him into having a conversation with her, and what she assured him not once but twice that it was not a live stream and wouldn't be platformed, to put it on her platform with how many subscribers? Because she has a large count of over 1 million, 1.67 mil. Okay. And at the very end of that conversation, she turns around and tells your son, your newly 18-year-old son, that he should probably go take his life, that nobody would care and nobody would miss him.
I wouldn't know what to do. Like, I wouldn't know what number to call or what place to go.
Let's do our charity work of the year and just pretend like we don't know that that's a massive crock of shit. If you're so disinterested, why would you tell a minor specifically, and I quote, "Here's what I want you to do. I want you to flirt with him and see where it goes." Well, I asked Tito this, and this was his response.
Why did you tell her to do that? Why did you feel like that was important? Because I don't think I've asked that.
I felt guilty about what she told me.
Pause for context. He
Yep.
claims that when his underage girlfriend came to him complaining about the fact that there is a creepy adult man, got the fucking irony there, flirting with her, that he initially wasn't interested. And
Exactly, Detective John. That's what I was saying earlier. The laws need to catch up and update with the current social media, because a lot of this will fall under defamation, which you will need a lawyer and a lot of money for. And that's the problem with a lot of this. A lot of people will hide behind, well, it's freedom of speech. She basically played the same game with this guy. Exactly my sentiments.
And then she essentially questioned his masculinity, and then he felt guilty.
I felt guilty about what she told me. It was important to me to make her happy.
And she said to you, like, what, you're not going to do anything, you felt like, as her.
So again, this woman is the advocate for men. She is leading the charge for men and men's rights and men's feelings and men's emotions and all those things. But she can't understand why when an 18-year-old comes to, an 18-year-old has his girlfriend come to him and say, you're supposed to make me happy. She can't understand. Out of all people, she can't understand why that would have the effect on him that it did. Come on. I can understand it.
Man, that you had to protect her.
I'm going to pretend that I didn't notice his pathetically feeble attempt at trying to access the empathetic men's rights advocate in me by trying to convince me that he was emasculated. And the only way that he could conceive to make his girlfriend happy was by doing.
So now she thinks this 18-year-old is clever enough to trick and use what she fights for against her. He wasn't thinking that hard. There's no doubt in my mind that his girlfriend said that to him. There's no doubt in my mind. But of course, this narcissist on your screen, this lovely, wholesome, traditional woman, thinks that he said that to trick her. I agree, Ghost.
Miss.
Man, that you had to protect her, right?
Yeah.
What part of instructing a minor to put herself in harm's way where she's actually being potentially sexualized and preyed upon by an adult?
She wasn't being sexualized or preyed upon. She wasn't. But we have to make it, juicy, or people aren't going to click on. Here's the problem, Detective John. They actually make money off of this. Look how many views her videos have gotten. Look at my video today. Look at all the videos that are going around about this. They benefit off this. The nastier, I said this the other day, and I'll say it again. I received more financial support and channel growth the nastier I was. That's fact. And how ass backwards is that? If I was doing a live stream right now where I was cursing and screaming and calling her all these bad names, there would be super chats flying. My Cash App would be going off. There'd be memberships buying. Because people love the same way we all watched Honey Boo Boo. We love a good train wreck. It's gross.
Adult, what part of that was protecting her?
So much about that interview and just this entire case is tragic and horrifically disgusting. Not only did he not express any remorse, no condolences, not one shroud of empathy, but he went out of his way to lie, make up different scenarios. He couldn't even keep his own head on straight. And I have never in my life seen somebody cover up their own face and as an attempt to hide their expressions and their emotions.
No,
but yet
not everyone.
Fail so terribly at it. I've never seen somebody more expressive and have somebody's own eyes snitch them out as badly as his did. It's really hard to fathom that the only motive here could be jealousy, that he wanted him to be canceled. And, you know
what else is hard to fathom here? That you as an adult couldn't realize that you were speaking to a child. That you as an adult lost the 48.40 seconds of outstanding conversation you had with that kid by spending the last 10 seconds telling him to unalive himself. He is 18. He has, unfortunately, the life of somebody else on his hands. He knows that. Armchair detective. Armchair detective. Oh, there's many reasons he's gone.
I don't think for a second that these people knew that this could possibly happen at the end of the day, but this is life and it happened and your choices have consequences.
So she just acknowledged there that they had no idea that this would be the end result. You acknowledge it, Roma, you know it. But you still went on to tell him that he should end his life over it? Really? They're fucking kids. They had no idea the real life consequence. They probably, when plotting and planning all of this, didn't even think of that being an end result. Didn't even think of it. All they knew and all they know is cancel culture. So we tell them to unalive
consequences, and it's about what you do with it afterwards. If you don't have the balls as a 20-year-old, however the fuck old he is, to come forward and say, this is who I am.
Now, no. You don't get to now go back to calling him 20 years old, because it sounds better that you told a 20-year-old to take his own life than an 18-year-old. Okay? You told a kid who turned 18 3 months ago that he should end his life because he indirectly and unknowingly led to another man taking his. How is she any better?
And take ownership. Guess what? Not a lot of people would do that, but at least get the fuck off the internet and hide. His attempt at trying to reach somebody with a massive platform so that people...
He didn't reach out to you. She reached out to him. She reached out to him and made it like she was on his side and going to help him. She did that. He didn't reach out to Roma. He didn't reach. Oh my goodness, this woman's unreal.
People could hear his side, which is really a whole bunch of me. I'm going to blame everybody else. It's disgusting. That shows no remorse. And that's what makes this whole thing so much more tragic. Somebody lost their life, and somebody who's directly responsible doesn't seem to grasp reality, doesn't grasp it, doesn't care, or doesn't have the ability. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So maybe he should end his own life, right? Yeah, thank you. So yeah, that my friends is the good old Roma Army. Unfortunately, she is making what I would call a fucking mockery out of this young adult's life being gone. She imposed on this newly 18-year-old as an advocate, willing to hear his side and help him to turn around and end it by telling him to take his own. The whole thing's just sad. It's overall sad. This is what, do you battle something like this by mimicking the behaviors? Is Roma any better than these young kids and what they did? When she has made 5 videos now and one showing his true identity after telling him to unalive himself, is that the answer to something like this? Right, finding hope. Opportunist. No, it's not the way to do it. You've become no better at this point. Absolutely, she is no better at this point. But there does have to be a difference. There does have to be a change. Laws need to be updated. These kids do need to have consequences for what they did. They need to use this as an example to prevent the next one. It shouldn't be that easy to get on here and defame people. That is not what the First Amendment was written for. It was written at a time where they didn't even think social media would be a thing. And the fact that so many people think if they throw the word allegedly, like we saw the other day with Cher, as she grossly put out personal information of another creator CPS case, if they throw a few allegedlys in there, they think it's okay. Because at that point, they're only thinking of legal consequences. They're not thinking of emotional. It is easy to get wrapped up in the internet world. Absolutely. It is easy to start dehumanizing people on this platform. Been there, done that. When all you see is an avatar with a little bounce going to it, you stop realizing there's a human on the other side. No matter how despicable, deplorable, they're human. Like Bullhorn Betty. How many channels go live a day talking about Bullhorn Betty? At what point does it pass awareness into bullying? It is so easy to go along with the chat and jump in and participate on the negative and the hate and the drama. What if it was you on the other end? What if all those nasty comments and all those nasty live streams and all those, you know, for the people that are watching right now, just so they can clip me and make a post. Go search it in some old conversations and make a post. What if it were you on the other end? Would you be thumbing it up then? Would you be adding your negative comment in then? It's just so sick how easily we become hateful on this fucking platform, man. What if that were your son? Both of the boys. It's sad for both of them. I would have had little to no empathy for the kid that Roma had on that ultimately led to Vincent, the Inquisitor 3, taking his own life due to false allegations. If it weren't for the fact that Roma ended that entire conversation as an adult herself, telling this very young adult to end his life. Because that's the sad thing that's going to happen. People's way of seeking revenge for what they feel he's guilty of is to harass and torment him to the same dark place that resulted in why we are here. Do you see the oxymoron in that? Do you see how it contradicts the so-called movement of it all? That kid said he is getting messages that his family's going to be RAPE. He's getting death threats and all these other things. How is any of that? How if you are the one doing that, if you are the one sending that, how are you better than him? And that's what you have to ask yourself before you go and participate in these things. Are you really fighting for a cause at that point? Are you part of the problem? It's a shame that more people don't stop and self-reflect and figure it out. Maybe YouTube and social media altogether want to be such an ugly place. That's all I have for today. My heartfelt prayers go out to Vincent and his family and his loved ones and his supporters. It's a perfect example of real life consequences coming from social media. Thank you all for being here with the Croc. I appreciate all of you. If you wouldn't mind, please hit the thumbs up on the way out. It is the best way to help me. It costs you nothing. And I hope you all come back for the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day. Happy Monday. And Detective John, I will send you an email. Thank you so much, One Red Rose. I appreciate that. Thank you. Everybody have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.